All right, so today we're diving into something a little different.
Okay.
Manifesting. You know, that whole think your way to success kind of thing.
Right.
Maybe you've heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you've even rolled your eyes at it a bit.
Yeah. I
get it.
For sure.
But what if there's actually more to it than just wishful thinking?
Right.
That's what we're going to unpack today.
Okay.
Using this fascinating article from Very Well Mind.
All right.
Called How to Manifest What You Really Want in Your Life.
Okay. Yeah. It's definitely a topic that's, generating a lot of buzz. Mm-hmm. But there's often a disconnect between the popular perception of manifesting and what the research actually suggests.
Exactly. So the article kicks off with two core concepts.
Okay.
The power of positive thinking and the law of attraction.
All right.
Now, I'll admit the positive vibes only thing can feel a bit toxic sometimes, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's important to acknowledge that life isn't about denying negative emotions.
Right.
However, the article cites some compelling research on how cultivating a positive mindset can actually help us overcome fear and worry.
Interesting.
It's not about ignoring negativity, but rather about understanding and working through it.
So it's not about pretending everything is sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
But more about approaching challenges with a can-do attitude.
Exactly.
I can see how that could be helpful.
Yeah.
What about the law of attraction? That one always feels a bit mystical to me.
Right. It's often presented in a way that suggests we can magically attract anything we want just by thinking about it.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating is that the article connects this concept to research on how our focus shapes our opportunities.
Okay.
For example, there's a study that found when people were told to expect certain patterns in a series of images, they were more likely to see those patterns.
Interesting.
Even when they weren't actually there.
So it's like our brains are filtering information based on what we're looking for.
Exactly.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
If I'm suddenly obsessed with learning to code, I'm probably going to start noticing coding courses, online communities, maybe even job postings that I wouldn't have seen before.
Exactly. It's not about mystical forces, but about how our interests influence what we pay attention to, who we connect with, and ultimately the opportunities that come our way.
Okay, so that's the theory. But the article also gets into some specific techniques for putting this into practice.
Yeah.
I have to say, some of them sound a bit out there.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to keep an open mind.
I think that's the best approach. Think of these techniques as experiments you can try.
I like that. So the first one the article mentions is visualization.
Okay.
It's all about creating a detailed mental picture of your goals.
And while it might sound a bit simplistic, there's actually a lot of research on the power of visualization.
Really?
Especially in fields like sports and performance.
Oh, interesting.
Athletes have been using it for decades.
Oh, wow.
To improve their skills.
So it's not just about daydreaming.
Right.
It's about using that mental imagery.
Yeah.
To create a clear picture of what you want and how to get there.
Exactly.
I remember reading about a study where basketball players who visualize themselves making free throws actually improve their accuracy.
Right. The article suggests incorporating visualization into your daily routine.
Okay.
Maybe when you wake up or before you go to bed.
Okay, next up we have vision boards. Now, I've always been a bit skeptical of these.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to hear you out.
I understand the skepticism. Gluing pictures to a board can seem a bit like arts and crafts for adults.
Right.
But the act of creating a vision board can be a powerful exercise in clarifying what you truly desire. It forces you to articulate your goals visually, which can make them feel more tangible and achievable.
So it's not just about pretty pictures. It's about turning those vague aspirations into something more concrete.
Exactly. And the article emphasizes that the process of creating a vision board can also spark new ideas and insights.
Okay.
As you search for images and words that resonate with your goals, you might stumble upon things you hadn't considered before.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like the act of creating the vision board is already moving you closer to your goals.
Right.
Now, this next one is called the 3-6-9 method.
Okay.
Honestly, it sounds a bit like a numerology thing, which makes me a little wary.
Right.
But walk me through it.
It's about repetition.
Okay.
The article suggests writing down your goals 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times in the evening.
Okay, that does sound a bit repetitive.
Yeah.
Is there any reason behind the specific numbers? Or is it just, mystical vibes?
The article doesn't delve into the numerology aspect.
Okay.
But the idea behind the repetition is to keep your goals at the forefront of your mind.
Right.
Throughout the day.
Gotcha.
Think of it like priming your subconscious.
Okay.
By repeatedly writing down your goals, you're sending a powerful message to your brain.
Right.
About what you want to achieve.
So it's less about the numbers themselves and more about that consistent reminder.
Precisely. And remember, the article emphasizes that manifestation isn't about passive wishing. It's about aligning your actions with your intentions.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, one more technique before we wrap up this part of the deep dive.
Right.
The article also mentions journaling.
Okay.
As a tool for manifestation. And I'm a big fan of journaling.
Right.
But I've never thought of it in this context.
Yeah.
How does it fit in?
Journaling can be a fantastic way to identify fears and limiting beliefs that might be holding you back. It's about becoming aware of those negative thought patterns and actively working to reframe them.
Okay.
The article even provides some specific journaling prompts designed to help you uncover those subconscious beliefs.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, one of the prompts is, what are 3 things I'm afraid might happen if I achieve my goal? This might seem counterintuitive, but it can help you identify those hidden fears that might be sabotaging your efforts.
That's actually really insightful. I can see how that could be helpful in identifying those subconscious blocks.
Right.
Okay, so we've got a good grasp on some of these techniques.
Right.
But the article also stresses the importance of doing this whole manifestation thing correctly.
Okay.
It's not just about going through the motions.
Right.
There are some key principles to keep in mind. It almost sounds like there's a right way and a wrong way to manifest.
That's where I think the real value of these practices lies, even if you're skeptical about the more mystical interpretation.
Right, because at the end of the day, even if you don't believe you can magically manifest a winning lottery ticket, there's probably still some benefit to clarifying your goals and taking action.
Exactly. So principle number 1, and this might seem obvious,
Okay.
is being clear about what you want.
Okay.
The article makes the point that you need to actually know what your goals are before you can even start manifesting them.
I can see that. I think a lot of us have these vague ideas of what we want. Like, I want to be happy or I want to be successful.
Yeah.
But we don't really get specific about what that actually looks like.
It's like trying to navigate without a destination in mind.
Right.
You might end up wandering aimlessly.
Yeah.
The article actually suggests writing down your goals as clearly as possible.
Okay.
Almost like you're creating a detailed order for the universe.
Okay. So no more vague wishes.
Right.
Got it. What else does the article say about doing this correctly?
Well, it also talks about the importance of framing your desires in a positive way. For example, instead of saying, I'm so stressed about money, you'd say something like, I am attracting financial abundance into my life.
Okay, so it's about focusing on what you do want.
Exactly.
Rather than what you don't want.
Right.
But does simply stating your desires in a positive way actually do anything?
Yeah.
I mean, I can say I am attracting financial abundance all day long.
Right.
But if I'm not taking any action, will anything actually change?
That's a great question. And you're right. It's not about just saying the words.
Okay.
It's about shifting your perspective and creating a mindset that's open to possibilities. By focusing on the positive, you might start to notice opportunities you might have missed otherwise.
So it's about creating a mindset of possibility.
Right.
But it's also about taking action, right?
Yeah.
The universe might provide the opportunities, but it's up to us to walk through the doors.
Exactly. And that brings us to another crucial principle, action. The article is really clear that manifestation isn't just about wishing and hoping.
Right.
It's about taking concrete steps toward your goals.
I'm glad it emphasizes that.
Yeah.
It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that if you just visualize hard enough, things will magically fall into place.
Yeah.
But real change requires effort.
Absolutely. And the article even suggests breaking down big goals into smaller, more manageable steps.
Okay.
For example, if your goal is to write a novel, you might start by committing to writing for 30 minutes every day.
That's a great tip. It's less overwhelming that way.
Right.
And I imagine those small wins can help build momentum and motivation.
Precisely. And speaking of motivation, the article also talks about the importance of getting out of your comfort zone.
Right.
It acknowledges that achieving your dreams often means pushing past those self-imposed limits.
Right. You're not going to achieve anything extraordinary by staying in your comfort zone. But I can see how that could be intimidating for some people.
Absolutely. That's why the article wisely suggests starting small.
Okay.
If you're terrified of public speaking, maybe you begin by sharing your ideas in a small group meeting before volunteering to give a presentation.
It's about building up your confidence gradually, step by step. So it's not just about setting goals and taking action.
Right.
It's also about believing in yourself and your ability to achieve those goals.
And the article even suggests using affirmations, those positive statements about yourself to boost your confidence.
Affirmations. I'll admit, I've always been a bit skeptical of those.
Yeah.
It feels a bit like, I don't know, talking to myself in the mirror.
I understand the skepticism.
Yeah.
It can feel a bit cheesy at first.
Right.
But repeating phrases like, I am capable or I am worthy can actually start to rewire your thinking over time.
Okay.
Think of it like giving your brain a pep talk.
So it's about replacing those negative self-talk tapes.
Right.
With more empowering messages.
Precisely. Our thoughts have a powerful influence on our emotions and actions.
Right.
So if you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, you're less likely to take risks and go after what you truly desire.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But even with all the positive thinking and action taking in the world, I think it's important to acknowledge that setbacks are inevitable.
Right.
Life doesn't always go according to plan.
Right.
And sometimes things just don't work out the way we hope.
You're absolutely right. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And just like in a marathon, having a support system can make all the difference.
Right.
Whether it's friends, family, or a therapist, having people to cheer you on and offer encouragement can help you stay motivated when things get tough.
And it's also about being kind to yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Giving yourself permission to not be perfect.
Yeah.
And to learn from your mistakes.
Exactly. And along those lines, the article also stresses the importance of practicing gratitude throughout the process.
Okay.
It's about appreciating what you already have while still striving for more.
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in the chase and forget to be thankful for the good things in our lives.
Gratitude can be a powerful antidote to negativity.
Right.
And can help you stay focused on the positive even when faced with challenges.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
We've explored the core concepts of manifestation, unpacked some of the most common techniques, and highlighted the key principles for doing it correctly, as the article says. But I think the big question that's probably on everyone's mind is, does this stuff actually work?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
And the answer, as with most things in life, is nuanced.
I mean, we've talked about the research on positive thinking.
Right.
And the power of visualization. And how our focus can shape our opportunities.
Yeah.
But is there any scientific evidence to suggest that we can actually, like, will things into existence?
Right.
I'm still a bit skeptical about that part.
I hear you. And if we're talking about, like, bending the laws of physics with our minds, then no, the science isn't there. But what's interesting is that the article doesn't really make those kinds of claims.
Okay.
It frames manifestation more as a process of personal growth and self-discovery.
So less about magic.
Right.
And more about using these techniques as tools
to
clarify your goals, build confidence, and take action.
And those things in and of themselves can have a huge impact on your life.
Right.
Regardless of whether you believe in the more mystical aspects of manifestation.
So maybe it's not about proving or disproving the magic of manifestation, but rather about exploring the potential benefits of the practices it encourages.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And it actually reminds me of something I read about the placebo effect.
Oh, really?
Researchers have found that even when people are given a sugar pill, but believe they're receiving a powerful medication, they can experience real physiological changes.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So are you suggesting that belief itself can have a tangible impact on our reality?
It's certainly something to consider. And it makes me think that maybe the question of whether or not manifestation works isn't the most important one. Perhaps a more empowering question is, what if I acted as if it did?
What do you mean?
Think about it. If you truly believed that your thoughts and actions had the power to shape your reality, What changes would you make?
Yeah.
What actions would you take?
Yeah.
Would you be bolder in pursuing your dreams? More intentional with your time and energy?
Wow, that's a really powerful question.
Yeah.
It almost shifts the focus from, does this work?
Right.
To how can I use this to create the life I want?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And who knows, you might be surprised by the results.
So to wrap things up, dear listener, we encourage you to view this deep dive into manifestation as a starting point for your own exploration.
Yeah.
Maybe try out one of the techniques we discussed.
Right.
Approach it with a sense of curiosity and playfulness and see what happens.
Think of it as a personal experiment.
Yeah.
You might discover that even if you're not fully convinced about the woo-woo aspects, there's real value in the practices themselves.
Exactly.
After all, clarity, positive self-talk, and taking action are never bad things.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder those empowering what-ifs. Until next time.